Oh, thanks for coming on, Phil. I really appreciate it, man. Burglar from Hell and the Jacker series are like finally getting some recognition now. Like Ross has put them out in Saturn's Core the last few years. People are seeing them.
That's
So,
what's really getting us a lot of attention.
yeah, it must feel good, man, having people finally pick up on the stuff you made in the early 90s.
Right. Yes. The Jacker movies did so well with Ross that we did a part three last year,
Yeah, yeah,
and it was like one of our best movies we ever made. It was supposed to be like a goof, like, let's just try who's going to come back after 30 years. But we got a lot of people from the originals to do cameos in there, and we
yeah,
tried to keep the same vibe as the original two,
yeah,
and it worked. People loved it. And it
yeah,
was like
cool.
one of our biggest hits, and it's still selling well. It's starting to hit up on streaming services now.
Oh, nice.
And I was happy.
Yeah, 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 you must have been, man. Did you direct the third one as well? 'Cause you didn't direct the second one, right?
I didn't direct any of them.
Oh, you didn't direct the first one either?
No, I wrote them
Ah,
and I starred in them.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I had a lot of input
Yeah,
on the sidelines, but I wasn't like the real director on
because
them.
you were directing Burglar from Hell at the same time that you made the
Right.
first one, right?
Yes, that I did.
So
But
how?
somehow I got thrown in front of the camera, and
Yeah, yeah,
I never wanted to act. I said I wanted to produce, write, and direct. And for
yeah.
some reason, like the last few years, I've been doing a lot of acting, and
Oh, cool.
people like it. So I'll keep doing it until they tell me step away.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
I do a lot of the behind the scenes, a lot of the organizing of these things. It's a nightmare, but
yeah, yeah.
we do it.
Trying to push it all through is like the hard part, especially when you're the driving force and you're the force behind everything, trying to get
Right.
everything.
We don't have that big team. We have like maybe four of us behind the
Yeah,
scenes.
yeah,
And like my director now, James Panetta, he's like a one-man powerhouse. He does the
yeah,
editing, he does the directing, he does the lighting, he does the sound, he does the
yeah,
effects. He's amazing. But I
yeah,
have
yeah,
other people like Marcelo Fabani, Derek Brosh, Will Devakis, all driving forces for me.
yeah,
They all help me. And I got a good publicity team, Thomas Antelak, Rich Gordon, Michael Masausos, good people, small team,
yeah,
but very, very powerful in getting our names out there. And you can't just do it all one person, even though we try.
yeah,
But I've just hooked up with such good people in the last few years.
yeah,
I got like my senior producer now, Ralph Ray. We just met about a year ago, and he did a cameo, him and his son, in Jacket 3. And he made such an impression on us that he's become like one of my top guys now. He's like
yeah,
so into everything, and he's like so helpful in all aspects of filmmaking, fundraising.
yeah.
It's tough, so it's good to find people like
Do
this.
you feel you're still making things in a similar way to when you started? Like the same kind of energy, or is it loads more
When we
planned and
first started,
restrained?
when we first started, it was so simple.
Yeah,
It was just a bunch of kids. We were like 18, 17 year
yeah,
olds. We got a video camera. We just went around the neighborhood and started filming. We came upon this idea to make our first big feature was Hell on Earth, Arena of Death.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And it took us 6 years to make. We started like in 86, I think, and it finally came out in 92. Biggest feature we ever made, and it was so elaborate. And
mm,
it got out there. Ross was another one who got that movie out there through Vinegar Syndrome. He did a re-release on it, and
yeah,
people were always saying, Hell on Earth 2, Arena of Death. What happened to Hell on Earth 1? And I was
yeah,
like, I don't know. But
yeah,
that's what was the stepping stone, Hell on Earth. It brought Jacker, Burglar from Hell, Tales to the End, and it just started, us progressing. But like I said, in those days, it was just shoot. We would shoot them, except for Hell on Earth, like in a month,
yeah,
and then they would come out.
yeah,
Like Jack, it took 30 days, I think it was.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that was like, very, very low budget. It seems like as we're getting more budget, more people, more elaborate ideas, it's coming close to a year now to come
yeah,
out with a movie. We
yeah,
did
yeah.
three last year, but it was tough. They're overlapping into this year
Mm,
because of our QC now. We're like, we want it better. We took all
okay.
this time. Let's just not pass it out there. Let's fix this. Let's fix that. we
Yeah.
can do this a little better, we could tweak that, and then it becomes like, okay, so let's just put it out already,
Yeah.
'cause
Yeah.
we had a few delays on Actors Curse because we
Right.
were all set. I sent it out to reviews and everything, and we were like, people put into this, we could fix this a little, fix that a little, because even though it's an anthology, we try to put everything into, all our movies.
Yeah.
Anthologies are getting harder and harder to make because you got four stories, four different people, and it's hard to get them all together. And so it's and
It's 12
we're
o'clock.
doing really good with them. Like people like our anthologies. Usually, when people do reviews on it, oh, we don't like them, we don't like them. But we always try to do different themes, different topics. We
Hmm.
don't stay on one thing. We all try to broaden our horizons, push ourselves, make every dollar count.
Yeah. Yeah.
For
So
our
do you,
people.
you
Like
ever
we
find
don't
like
take the money and run.
no, yeah, yeah. I mean, you've always kind of done it for the love of doing it, and because obviously
Yes.
you love making films, you love being out there doing it. Like, are you writing all the time? Are you writing new stuff while you're in production on
Yeah,
something? Do you do it
last
in
year
blocks?
it was on my bucket list to put out a novel, and I
Oh,
put out
okay.
6 novels.
Oh no
I
way!
put out
Amazing.
It's a different set of
Yeah.
mind though, and to write a book. But what I was doing, I was taking screenplays that I couldn't make into movies, like
Yeah.
Invasion of the Horseshoe Crabs. I couldn't make that into a movie the way I
Yeah.
wanted to, so I put that into a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I've been doing now. I've been on the side in between, movies and stuff. Like there's plenty of time.
Yeah.
Uh, I try to pump out a book, and
Yeah.
when I write, like I could write a script for a movie
Mm.
over a weekend,
Yeah.
like the first draft, and I'll just fix it, fix it, fix it. But like Jacker 3, like I said, was a goof. And I wrote that in a couple of days. And then we went pretty much with the original idea. James added a few things to put more supernatural into it.
Hmm.
But Jacker 3, it wasn't one of those scripts where you just kept overwriting, overwriting,
Yeah.
overwriting. We just kept it, my original idea, and that's it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm always writing.
Yeah.
I love writing.
Do you find writing for the books that because you don't have to think about the constraints of what you can shoot,
Yeah.
so you're so free, you can do anything, you can set shit in a castle if you want to, and it won't matter.
Well,
Like,
it's
is that
funny
freeing?
because now, like, it's very true what you're saying, but like, I had Survived the End. That's what we're working on next. Originally, I wrote it and I said, we can't do this. It's the end of the world.
Yeah.
I've done end of the world movies. I did Doomsday Stories, Tales to the End, Hell on Earth, but I said, I want this on a grand scale. I want buildings blowing up. I want bombs flying. I want it to
Right.
look like the end of the world.
Yeah.
I don't want to skim. So then I said, let me make a book out of it. So I transferred it into a book. I added a few things. And then everybody said, man, that's a good book. And it was like one of my best sellers. And I was like, can we make this into a movie? I was talking to my director, James. He goes, I got all the guns. I got all the gear. He says, let's do it. He says, I want to do something. We'll blow up things. He says,
Yeah.
it'll
Yeah.
be great. I got all the software to make this realistic.
Yeah.
But then I said, okay, now people read the book. We got to do something more for the movie. Because I said, you don't want to just see the same thing.
Yeah.
We strengthened some areas. We added some things. We changed things with characters. We added characters. So if you read the book, it's similar, but what you're going to see in the movie is so much more, which is usually the opposite. Usually you do more.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this one, I said, I want to throw everything
That's
in here.
cool.
It's going to be big. We got some big stars on it. We got Vernon Wells from The Road Warrior. He's going to play the president,
Amazing.
so he turned out to be a really cool guy. I talked to him,
Yeah.
sometimes, and he's just a great guy, really supportive of indie films. And I just
Yeah.
thought Road Warrior, survived the end. It's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
cool,
Yeah.
so
So have you shot that
that's-
already?
no,
Okay, yeah.
we're in
Pre-production.
pre-production.
Right.
It's like it's a big movie because 99% of it is on location outside.
Yeah.
It's all outside. It's nothing inside. We like to do those kind of movies because I feel cheated when I see a movie, not putting them down, but I feel cheated when I see a movie and it's all in one setting.
Mm.
I'm like, You got all this money and you got five guys in a cabin, and
Yeah,
they never
yeah,
leave the cabin.
yeah,
This one, we're in Philly, we're in Jersey, we're in New York,
yeah.
we got a drive-in that we're going to be
Oh,
shooting
amazing.
at, which
Cool.
we're really excited about.
That's awesome.
We start filming the beginning of March. We'll go through all the way to May, shooting. Uh, since we have a small crew, time restraints, scheduling, because we got a big cast, organizing a lot of people coming from out of state to be in it.
Yeah,
So we film like once a week. We film every Saturday for like 12 weeks.
yeah,
Uh, it gives time for the special effects crew, James Bernetta, to get all set up each week, for everything. Because I was saying, well, why can't we film like 3, 4 days in a row? He says,
mm,
it's tough. It's tough to get ready, to stage, the different locations. And we got to think about weather
yeah.
and getting, each scene has like 8, 10 people in it,
Right.
like actors and stuff. And it's like an assembly line. We have it,
Yeah,
certain days, it's like the kill days.
yeah.
We do
Okay,
all the
great.
kills.
Yeah,
Everybody lines up and they get killed.
yeah.
And that takes time because, you got to do bullet holes, you got the ammunition, he's got special shotguns. They have the shells flying
Oh,
out,
nice. Okay,
we
awesome.
got the blood packs, so, and he does everything himself. So you got to stop, you got to set them up, you got
Yeah,
to do tearaways on their throats, their heads, so
yeah, yeah,
it's tough, but
yeah,
in the end, you like, I did it. I can't
yeah,
believe
yeah.
it.
Oh man, it sounds like it's gonna be really cool. Are you shooting it on digital?
Yes.
Shoot everything digital now?
Yes. Yes. Everything is done digitally.
No, don't miss it at all. The VHS days or the digital 8 or whatever you were using when you
You know
started.
what? We tried to bring that back.
Yeah.
I had a deal with a guy on Jacker and Unearthed to put it out on VHS too.
Okay.
And everybody wanted it, but no one. And I put it really affordable, and
Yeah.
it's just not. It's funny, like some years digital, like on physical media, it'll do good,
Yeah.
and other years digital will do good. We
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
better on physical
Yeah.
than digital because digital we make nothing.
Yeah.
Because first of all, the person has to watch the movie from opening to end.
Right.
They
Yeah.
can't,
Yeah.
that's why I tell everybody, like when you're going to sleep, just put the movie on and let it
Yeah.
run.
So let it play.
But
Yeah.
we make nothing. I mean, it's when people, again, I'm not putting people down with it. Yeah, I'm making $7,000 a month. I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You don't make anything. We do very, very well on physical. Last
Yeah.
year, we were at Gross Fest in Pittsburgh,
Right.
and we had our table set up. I was a guest of honor there. I was like, I
Nice.
got like an award, filmmaker
Oh, cool, man.
lifetime achievement. So it
Oh,
was cool.
amazing.
But one of the best conventions I ever went to, like really, really hardcore,
Yeah.
uh, low budget filmmaker lovers. They were like just buying up everything.
Oh,
It
that's
was like,
awesome.
it was such a great feeling. And they
That's
were buying
cool.
the old ones, Burglar from Hell, Jack, or Burglar from Hell, Jack.
Yeah.
Those sold out right away.
Wow, that's cool.
And it was a great feeling. And then
Yeah.
we had screeners of Jacker 3. It was a rough cut. It wasn't ready yet, but I had promised them a screening of it, and people loved it. And then when it came out, I thought, oh, they won't want it, because they saw it already. People wanted to see it, and they were so impressed with what we did at the end,
Yeah.
of it. And it's just a good feeling,
Yeah.
like when you see people watch your movies, because I've been doing it over 40 years.
Right. Yeah.
And I've never really taken a break, even during COVID. We were still doing movies.
Yeah.
My buddy Joel D. Winecoop,
Yeah.
we did the Craig Long incident, which was three of them. We still managed to do two series of Horror Tales, 2 and 3. 187 times I did with him.
Yeah.
So nothing stopped us.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah.
kept going, going, going. And I feel like I always want to take a break. My wife wants to strangle me sometimes because I was
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah.
And after working 35 years for New York Transit, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I got time to film. And she goes, no, no. And I said, I got to do something.
Yeah.
So that's why I've upped my game on the movies. I want to get away from the anthologies. I want to start doing more features. And after this, after Survive the End, I'm in talks with people. They want to do The Usher. And it's like a real slasher movie about a
Cool.
killer usher in a movie theater,
Great.
so that'll be fun,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that'll be that one location so
Yeah.
that I'm talking about. But it'll
Yeah.
be also in the neighborhood too,
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. I like that you've
But
always made
a lot of good
films.
ideas. It's just the money. The money's hard
Mm,
to raise. There's
mm,
so many people doing this now.
yeah,
And it's like, we put out the campaigns. We got our faithful followers that always give because they know when they give to us,
it goes
we
towards
get,
the films.
yeah, we put everything towards plus more from our
Yeah,
own pockets.
yeah,
We don't go out there and have 10 different campaigns, for the same movies. We do the one campaign, we see what we can do. There's always people on the side, oh, I missed the campaign, could I
yeah,
donate? And I'm like, yeah, yeah, okay, no problem. I'll put you in there. Thank you. I appreciate that.
yeah.
And we just put it all in there. We try to respect as much as possible the actors and actresses, but we tell them straightforward, look, we're not a Hollywood company.
Yeah.
We try to give everybody something.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
appreciate it. And like I said, with our movies, you won't be waiting 5, 10 years and say, oh, what
What
happened
happened
to
to
that?
that? Right.
We try to put
It's
them out as
coming
fast as
out.
possible.
Yeah.
And we give updates. We tell everybody,
Yeah.
we're doing this, we're doing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully it'll come out now. And they do come out,
Yeah.
and I've been good year after year after year. We've never like not finished a movie.
Yeah. That's
Say,
awesome.
oh, we can't finish it. We always find a way.
Yeah.
No matter what, we find a way to
Yeah.
finish it,
Yeah.
get it out there as best as we could. And knock on wood, majority of the reviewers, our fans, they enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
time they say, "Oh, you guys are getting better and better and better," not
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you guys are going down," like,
Yeah.
so we
Yeah. That's
appreciate
good.
that,
Yeah.
and it's all the support, even people that just share.
Yeah.
They don't have to give money; they just share. We got a dedicated like sharers that they just share and talk about us, and
Yeah. It's
and
cool.
it feels good. It feels like we actually know these people.
Yeah. And it must feel
Because
nice
I
after.
try to answer people, when
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
talk to me.
Yeah. Definitely. And build a community around it, isn't it? Like
Exactly.
like-minded people who appreciate seeing films with heart and passion behind them, and you can see how much hard work people put in on low budget stuff. Um,
Exactly.
and it must be nice after making things for so long to feel appreciated and feel like you have people behind you. When you started shooting films, say when you were making Burglar from Hell and Jacker, did you know other people who were shooting on video at the time or who were making things
Uh,
super low budget
Very
like you were?
few because there was no social media
No,
really.
yeah, no internet.
You learn like you talk to people, on the phone, or you saw them in a magazine. There was
Yeah,
magazine, Fangoria, Draculina at
yeah,
that time. Independent Movie Makers was another one. That's how I found out about Debbie D.
right, yeah,
We advertised in a magazine called Independent Filmmakers, I think it was at that time. In the minute, well, it was like this really low budget thing this guy did in his basement,
mm,
and she was doing modeling work, and she was a singer, and we contacted her. We said, "Look, we need a girl. We're shooting simultaneously Burglar from Hell and Jacker. We
yeah,
need one girl. We'll pay you, the two scenes. We'll do. She lives in Philly. We'll drive to you. We'll do it all in one day." And the rest is history because ever since then, 1992, I think it was,
yeah,
she's still filming with us.
yeah, amazing.
I've been filming with her ever since then. I try to put her in every movie, and she's got a big. She never thought she would do movies,
Yeah,
and at that time, I never thought I would be continuing doing movies because I started with the Super 8 when I
right,
was
yeah,
like 12, 14 years
yeah,
old, and we used to do little goofy things like spoofs of Friday 13th, Dawn of the Dead, Planet of the
yeah,
Apes, things like that. Never thought it would go anywhere.
yeah,
But then I started networking with people like Joel,
yeah,
Tim Ritter. There's so many back in those days that
yeah,
they no longer around.
yeah,
Like Joel's another one. He's been before me. I think he's got like a couple of years before me. He's still making movies out in Florida. And he's still cameos and we
yeah,
collaborate.
man,
I went to Florida a couple of years ago. We did Owen Brothers, about two serial killers, and it was
yeah.
really fun. I've known Joel for 30 years, over 30 years, almost 40. That was the first time I met him.
Oh,
We
no
met
way.
up in
Yeah,
Orlando
yeah.
and we hung out with the wives and everything. And we were
Oh,
like,
that's
let's film
cool.
a movie in between.
Yeah, nice.
So it
Like,
was nice.
I spoke to Joel 2 weeks ago, maybe 2.5 weeks ago for the first time, and just said, "Look,
Yeah.
I'm making this film. I'm shooting it on VHS. I've been shooting it the last 9 months. I'm shooting it myself. I'm cutting it myself. I'm doing everything." Would you
Yeah.
want to do a cameo now? I can pay you a small amount to do this cameo. And to be fair to him, man, he not only he agreed to do it. I sent him the script within like 2 days. He was like, okay, what do you want to do with this? Sent me a bunch of questions. Went out and shot it himself for me. It was like a news reporter thing. Shot
Yeah,
it
yeah.
himself. Sent me the footage within a week. And like just the amount that he was doing in a day, how busy he is, how active he is filmmaking,
Yeah,
and
because
how
he's
much he
doing that
cared
beast
about it. He
mode.
was
Yeah.
amazing, absolutely amazing. And that
Yeah,
was the
it
first
truly is.
time.
He's always there. I call him up. I said, Joel, I need this. Yeah, no
Yeah,
problem. Same thing with me when he was doing 187 times. It was like, I'm in New York and it was like 10 degrees outside. He goes,
yeah,
I need a shot of you outside in short sleeves, running around, looking in the sky. There's a portal and like a biplane's gonna come out.
yeah,
Can you do it? And I was like, oh, yeah, okay, Joel. I said, no problem. I
yeah,
said, but I ask him, he asks me. We always do things for each other, So
yeah,
it's like up
yeah,
until now, we're still. But it's great. It's hard to find people like that. There's
yeah.
very few that it's very they're underlying. You do
Especially who
something for
like
them.
stick around,
Yeah.
because a lot of
Yep.
people come in. I mean, everyone thinks it's really cool until you have to like stand around for like 10 hours or whatever, and like wait. It's actually like quite a slow process that can be really
Right.
tiring, isn't it? And it grinds you down. It does grind you down. So I find a lot of people come in and like they'll work with me on my music video stuff or whatever, but then they'll kind of drop off after a few years and you won't hear from them anymore. Like, has there
Yeah.
ever been times where you have thought, can I keep doing this? Can I keep going? Or,
Yeah. What did I finish shooting? I finished shooting the last Horror Tales. It was about 5 years ago, I would say. I said, I can't do this no more. I said, it's taking too much time, and I want to start traveling. My kids are grown now. My wife says, I want to go here, I want to go there. And I'm like, okay. But now, thank God she's working full time now. So, we still go on our trips. We go,
yeah,
up to the mountains by the sea. I live across the street from the ocean, but she still likes going to different places by the ocean.
yeah,
So we do get all our trips, but I promise her, I tell her 2 months out of the year, I got to dedicate to filming, and that's it. So it's
yeah,
usually around the spring. I don't like filming in the winter. I don't like filming in the summer. It's
yeah,
terrible times to film.
yeah,
So last year we filmed in the spring and we filmed in the fall. But the thing with us is that it's not like months and months and
mm,
months of filming. We have it that we try to get these people on set. We try to do all their things in one day, get them in, get them
yeah,
out, so it
yeah,
doesn't, linger and because like I said, I feel bad. Even if they got to travel 1 or 2 hours, it's still, they're traveling on their time, to
yeah,
do this. I hate when like I get asked to do things and they go, yeah, you gotta travel like 3 hours, I don't know if you're gonna stand around, and this and that, and it's on you. And I'm like, no, it's okay.
yeah,
Us, we give them a few dollars for gas and stuff and
yeah,
feed them. And we tell them, look, come here at 12, you'll be out in an hour.
yeah,
It's sure enough, we do them. Oh, you here? Okay, let's get your stuff, get you out of here. And it's so funny because a lot of them are so happy they'll stick around, they'll
yeah,
hang out
yeah,
afterwards
yeah,
because they're like, oh my God, you guys are so cool. You said you would do that and you don't have us, hanging around or anything,
yeah,
but it's hard to get responsible people because,
yeah,
like you said, everybody wants in. And I feel like the younger generation,
mm,
their attention span,
yeah,
like if you tell them in January you're going to film in April, by March already they're getting cold feet and like, oh no, I
yeah,
got to go to a concert, I got something else to do, and you
yeah,
lose.
yeah,
So then you're going around, I need this, I need that.
yeah, yeah,
So, but most of the time, if you notice in my movies, you'll see all the same people
yeah,
because
yeah,
once they film with us, they go, wow, this is great. Can I come back?
yeah,
And I tell them that's how you get in my movies. You get in my movies by if you eventually get a part in them. Those are people that used to support me. They didn't know me,
yeah,
and they didn't bother me. Oh, can I be in your movie? Can you be in your movie? It doesn't work like that because I got a whole list of can I be in your movies,
yeah,
and I got to take care of the people that take care of me
yeah,
and the people that are responsible. People that when they come on set, they're not that's looking for a payday and leave.
yeah,
They'll talk about the movie afterwards. When they do an interview, they'll mention the movie,
yeah,
and they'll be very, very supportive. We met up with this girl named Deanna Marie, and she's done the Clown Motel movies, and we hooked up with her to do Amityville, the new one, Descendants of Darkness.
yeah,
We never met her, and I always feel weird when we first meet somebody because, who are we, but she came on, she was comfortable, she went above and beyond, she offered advice on things. Not only was she an actress, but she was a tech too behind the scenes
Yeah,
with
that's
us. She
cool.
was, offering her input, and we were like, that's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah,
And she just nailed it because her part was just supposed to be a few parts in the movie. We expanded that because her vibe was so good and energetic that
yeah,
when I was looking at the final cut on it, because it's almost done, the short that we did with her, unbelievable.
yeah,
Fantastic girl. She's a
yeah,
great actress to have. And she's coming back for Survive the End,
yeah. Nice.
so,
It's nice for
and
you
thrilled.
to have like once you build a relationship with people, you know what they can do, you know what type of roles they can do well, and things you could write for them. So you can
Right.
write them parts. You can uh,
Exactly.
have them play against the type that they've done in your other films. You can do fun little things like that, and you know you can trust them with the stuff. Then, and they're gonna,
Right.
you know,
And they like it because I give them a
it's a
challenge.
challenge.
Like
Exactly.
they
Yeah.
don't play the same role. They don't get typecast in my movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll play a killer in one movie. They'll play a good guy in the next movie.
Yeah.
So they like that because then they can show. I said, yeah, our movies. It's like a demo reel for you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Clip
Have it
it
for your
and you can
reels.
send it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I can't get rid of them. They keep coming back.
And it's nice being able to write character stuff that people want to do as well. Do you feel like uh, your writing it's obviously grown technical wise over the year? Your productions have got better, your films look better. Do you feel like your characters are getting better and you understand how to
Yes.
craft story better and things?
I feel like they're becoming more well-rounded, more realistic. They're actually people now,
Yeah.
whereas
Yeah.
even people with smaller parts that just come and get killed or something, I try to give them not really backstory, but I try to give them like something, not that they're just in the scene, they get their throat
Yeah.
slashed. I
Yeah.
try to give them some kind of development,
Yeah.
something that, could be memorable for that actor. No matter how small the part is, they'll say, "Oh, you're gonna love my part." It's only 3 minutes, but it's very memorable. I
Yeah.
want the actors to say that, not like, "Oh man, that's it." You couldn't do more
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
always satisfied, no matter how long, how short. And I always give them uh, this option. I said, because sometimes they look at the script and they go, "Oh my God, I can't remember all." I
All
said,
right.
"That's just the guideline." I
Yeah.
said, every time I make a movie, I want the actor to inject themselves into it.
Mm.
It's a character, but it's not realistic if you're playing someone you don't know.
Yeah.
No matter how good I write it, you haven't been that person. That's
Yeah.
not you. Inject your feelings. As long as you get the right idea of where the story's going, it doesn't have to be word for word.
Yeah.
I've been with people that go, "Oh, you didn't say it right. You forgot and I'm like, "But it's the same
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
That's my actors. That's why they feel so good. They always come comfortable because
Yeah.
they're like, okay, we got it. And it's also, they don't get rebellious. When you tell someone, you got to get that script exactly the way it is. I want it exactly. They get a little rebellious and like,
Yeah.
I can't. And sometimes people write and it's not realistic what they're
Yeah.
saying. Someone doesn't sit there. There's like a bomb dropping and have a whole speech.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you got to get your words out
You
and
read it
get the
out
attention
loud
of the audience.
when you write dialogue. Are you reading it to yourself after you write
Yes.
it?
Yes.
I
And then I
think
go over it and over and over.
yeah.
Does this make
The
sense?
amount of times
And sometimes it doesn't.
no.
Sometimes I'll write I'll
Yeah.
start writing like really late and I'm loopy and I'm like, I just start writing like crazy.
Yeah.
And then I go back to it the next day and I was like, oh my God. But then sometimes I'll show it to them and they go, no, it's good. It's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It's not scripted. It's
Yeah.
good. And that's what they like, I guess, about my writing. Sometimes it's a little off, but they like it's funny. It doesn't meant to be goofy, but I always try to inject humor because like
Yeah.
Jack of Three at a point got so dark because there's
Right.
like 30, 40 kills in it,
Yeah.
and it's like everybody's just getting killed. There's nobody really good in it, and where's it going? So I
Yeah.
said, you got to inject some humor that, people laugh nervously,
Yeah.
like, but you can't be too serious with yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
So
nice
I
that
try that.
you do keep the tone pretty light in most of the stuff, and it's never got like a vindictive Like I like extreme films too. Like I like kind of nasty films or whatever.
Right, right, right.
I can't really make them myself. I tried to make something extreme recently and it just didn't feel right. You know, it felt
Yeah,
too
there's a
dark. I
certain
needed a
yeah,
shower. I was like, nah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
And it was just a short for an anthology, and I don't think I'll go that direction again. Have you ever gone more extreme and gone, let's rein this in a little bit, or never?
Um, Not really. Sometimes people say, "Oh, you got a lot of nudity or a lot of gore." The nudity in our movies, it's never explicit.
Mm,
It's just nudity, and it's sad to say, but in these type of movies, that's what they're looking for. They're
yeah,
looking for a little, nudity. They want gore.
yeah,
When people put out a PG horror movie, people feel cheated.
yeah,
They're like, "That's not what I paid for," and we don't go extreme.
yeah,
Like, we have gore, but we don't have buckets of blood and
yeah,
really overbearing. It's like Jacket 3, I wouldn't say is a horror movie. It's more of a psychological thriller, maybe I would
mm,
say. It's more violent than gory, even though
yeah,
there's a lot of blood in it. Like Usher, for instance, would be a slasher movie. There'll
yeah,
be axes and stuff. Amityville, we had axes, and there's blood in that one. There's a lot of blood
yeah,
in Amityville. But we never really go over the limit where people are shocked and they're like, "Well,
yeah,
I was offended by that."
yeah,
They'll say, "Oh no, that's cool. You did that. It's not bad. It's you. We have all the elements that people want, but don't
yeah,
go over."
yeah, yeah. Have you ever got in trouble? I know you're in America, I'm in the UK, so I couldn't shoot stuff. Most of the carjacking scenes at the end of one, when the detective guy is chasing you and he's running around with a gun in that kind of wasteland before he throws you off the thing.
Yeah.
Like, you ever get in trouble for running around with fake? Were they fake
Oh
guns or were they
boy.
real guns?
Oh boy.
Because I would get
Okay,
arrested
that
if I
getting
tried
on
to
to
do that.
that. Okay, that movie was filmed the same place Hell on Earth was filmed. It's an abandoned army base,
Mm,
and it's also a national park. You're supposed to get permits,
right.
and you're supposed to get permission. We never did.
Yeah.
So we would go around killing people. In Hell on Earth, we broke into this place called the Arena of Death. It was an old abandoned bathhouse
Okay. Cool.
where back in the 50s and 60s, it was a very active. By the beach, a bathhouse is where people used to have lockers and put their
Yeah.
bathing suits, wash up and everything. Well, it was closed, but it was an immense brick building, had these huge towers. So we said, that's the Arena of Death. So we had like 20 people. We climbed over the walls. We would go in there, and it had the center area where they cleared out, where there used to be like lockers and stuff. And we used that as like a battleground for the
Mm,
creatures and these things called meanies, which were like mutated humans. We would have battles there all the time. One time, brilliant, one of the guys turned on the lights. He found
okay. Yeah.
the electricity and he turned on all the lights, and it was a cloudy day. We were like, "Oh, that's cool."
Yeah.
We didn't know that it would attract the parks department,
Oh
police,
yeah. Shit.
and we got surrounded. We knew the place better than them, so there was like back ways to get out. So we got away. But one guy was climbing up the towers to do a scene, and he had a gun and everything. And
Oh
he was
shit.
like, "Where'd everybody go?" And they're like, "Department, come down with your hands up."
Fuck.
So, I mean, we showed them the footage. They weren't very happy. So that was another delay. That's why the movie took 6 years. We had to wait a couple of months before we broke in again and did it again. But it's happened recently on Jacket 3. We were doing a scene where the guy got shot in the head,
Mm.
and Parks Department was coming by in an ATV, and they stopped and they go, "Okay, is everything okay? You got a bullet hole in your head." Somebody, a jogger went by, and they said there was strange things
Right.
happening here.
Yeah.
And we were like, "Well, we're doing a movie." And he goes, I thought I was gonna have to call an ambulance, right?
Yeah.
He goes, "I didn't notice you guys had cameras and stuff. I thought you were doing some kind of snuff here,
Yeah. Yeah.
So he let us go, but it's always a problem when you film in the public, and
Mm.
we still do the old shoot and run. We
Yeah.
do our scenes
Yeah.
and we run. I mean, 90% of the times we don't get caught because we have
Yeah.
lookouts, but and
Yeah.
it's part of the game. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I got a fishing permit, so I'm allowed to park there, but but yeah, it's happened. It's happened a few times that we got in trouble, but nothing really big. Like that time we
Yeah.
just had to pay a fine. It was like
Yeah.
$50. those days, trespassing, because they only had positive ID on one person.
Oh, okay, yeah,
Like I said, we went back, and then we used to have old World War II bunkers where there were these immense concrete things where they had big cannons protecting New York Harbor.
cool.
And we slid into there, and they were like, it looked like medieval times, and we would start fires in
Yeah,
there, and you couldn't tell, all
yeah,
this stuff was going on in there.
yeah, yeah,
But we had this like I guess it's like 100 acres or whatever, film, and we still film there. We
yeah,
did a
cool.
scene for Amityville. The end scenes in Amityville are in there. It's just a fun place to film because it's deserted.
Yeah,
It's got trails through the woods and everything. And that's why we try to film in the winter because there's nobody around then.
yeah, yeah. I appreciate seeing where you are in the films. Like, not only are you seeing an area that like I wouldn't see otherwise,
Right.
but you're also seeing these time capsules now, which you don't think about when you're making it. You're
Yes.
seeing like these VCRs on top of TVs and the way people's home videos were set up. Like the one girl that
Yeah.
the girl's watching a video when you break in and like grab her.
Yes.
I was watching that earlier and I was like, man, you don't capture people's rooms like that. I guess you don't think about it at the time, but it's nice to see those time capsules, isn't it?
Right, exactly. And people are revisiting, and it's
Yeah.
become so popular, to go back, back, back in
Mm,
time. So many movies are filming, back in the 70s, but we were actually back in the 80s, and
yeah.
90s, and it was a big time. We were like the king of SOV in those days. There weren't
Yeah.
that many people doing shot on videos.
Yeah.
And we were getting the best equipment. We had no money, but back in those days, there was a company called Crazy Eddie, and there was another one. I forgot the name of it. But anyway, we would get the top of the line super VHS decks
Right.
and
Yeah.
edit our stuff, and you had 30 days to return them.
Oh, were
So
you like crash editing on two video players?
yes,
Holy
that's how
shit.
we,
Okay. Fucking
yeah,
awesome.
that's how we did it. That's the only
Amazing.
way we could do it in those
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
And they had sound on sound, because they were like $1,500 each, those machines. And
Right.
that was a
Yeah.
lot of money in those days.
Yeah.
And we would just return them and they would never give us a problem.
Yeah.
6 months later, we go get them again
Yeah.
and
Cool.
do the same thing on the 29th day, return them, say, oh, they
Yeah.
don't do
Yeah.
what we want, and it was funny because we used to put it on my friend's credit card. His name was Ben. He plays in the Jacka movies.
Yeah.
He's the Crotch Brothers. He's the guy
Right.
who plays the three twin.
He's
We're like,
awesome.
oh my God, we're gonna get in trouble. This is
Yeah.
crazy. We're buying $3,000 worth of equipment and then returning it. And we're
Yeah.
like, they don't care. They
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
care. But we would have those machines and we would be like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and they were perfect because if we used regular machines, they would cause rainbows and glitches.
Okay. Yeah.
And with these machines, they beautiful. They were
Yeah.
like high-end
Yeah.
Sony machines, and they were like
Yeah.
state of the art in those
It
days.
must have been such a
Sometimes we had to
different.
pre-order them.
Right. Yeah. Thinking about editing now, like, so I edit at home. I use Premiere, and I'm on it all the time,
Yeah.
and I'm tweaking stuff all the time, whatever, and I can go back. When I learned filmmaking, I went to college, which is like one below university in the UK. They
Okay.
had like Avids with the old wheels that you turn and stuff, and you had to sit there, and it was a whole big process. Editing at home between two VCRs, it must have felt like such a different experience because you were cut in for a specific time period in that way that you can't undo too many times. It's not so easy to step back, and it's kind of final, right? Like once you've done it and you've done it, almost doing it kind of live, right, between the two.
Pretty much, yeah.
So there's not so
It's so
much
much
room.
easier nowadays with what we have
Yeah.
nowadays. Because I went to school. I went to Center for Media Arts for TV
Okay.
production, and it
Yeah.
was the same thing. In
Yeah.
those days, they had the knobs on the
Yeah.
machines, and it was the three quarters we would
Right.
use in
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
studio, and we would edit with those, and it was different. It was harder because I don't know. It was just so primitive. Even in those
Yeah.
days, it was primitive, but
Yeah.
that's the way you did it. So once these things started coming out with the computer, I was like, I could cut something like, in
Yeah.
an hour. I could put together a whole short, that boom, 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 boom,
Yeah.
switch
Yeah.
things around, clean up the sound, clean up the color.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I do trailers now, I do little things, but I don't do the movies anymore. I
Mm.
don't do the editing. Uh, my two senior editors are James Panetta and Marcelo Fabani. They do all my editing. They got all the programs, and it's amazing. It's like I fell so behind on it.
Right.
That I pay attention to what they're doing and everything,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I do notes and everything how I want things, but I haven't edited in years. But like I do, I'll do the trailers,
yeah,
things like that.
yeah,
I'll do like little videos, like promotional videos. I still try to keep in the game.
yeah,
But I find it fun because I said even doing a trailer in those days was a task.
yeah,
It'd take like a week.
yeah,
I'm like, they say, oh, could you draw a trailer together? I go, yeah, give me an hour. I'll have it all set. An hour?
yeah,
Yeah. I'll have titles and everything, all
yeah,
kind of funny things,
yeah,
and they
yeah.
go, wow, you did that. I mean, I do people's demos for them.
Right,
It's
yeah,
like, they're like, you'll do it for me. People want to charge like $700, $800. I
yeah,
said, I hate when people have the proper equipment and then
mm,
they take advantage of these poor people.
yeah,
Like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do $700, and I know everybody's got to make money, but
yeah,
when they're in your circle,
yeah,
help them out.
yeah, yeah,
Help them
exactly.
out. Like we're always doing that. We always help each other out. Look, I need this done. Can you help me out? Sure. I need this cleaned up. Can you do? Yes, no
Yeah,
problem.
yeah,
Always. We all have our special talents
yeah.
that we could help out on people.
And it comes from like the way you were making stuff, the way you've always made stuff is like everybody clubs in and works together and you're all working towards a
Yes,
common goal and you help each other and then you all get something cool to show at the end of it, That's the nice thing about it, isn't it?
the
So,
team. And I always
yeah,
stress that in everything I do. I
yeah,
said, yeah, I'm in charge of this and everything, but I don't want my face on that cover. I
yeah,
want our face on that cover. I don't
yeah,
want like every movie, me showing my face and
yeah,
this, that, or to remind everybody it's my movie. I don't even watch my movies. I watch it
yeah,
once and then that's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
I'm just proud of my team, and I'm
yeah,
always thanking them. And in anything I do, I always say, it's not me, it's you guys. They're
yeah,
pushing me. I almost stopped filming. They were like, come on, you got to keep doing this. You're great at what you do. We can't do this, without you, the way you do it. You have that appeal and strength, I would say. Or
yeah,
I guess I just like getting people involved and then at the end, celebrate with them.
yeah,
Say
yeah,
like,
yeah,
that's us up there.
yeah, it's
We
nice.
did that.
And it's nice that
Yep,
you can
that's
bring all
yours,
those people together as
right.
well. Like, so the bigger films I've worked on, everybody's just there kind of doing their job and then they go home. It's just like an office job or any other fucking job. It's just,
Yes.
especially the commercial stuff for like telly and stuff, it just kind of sucks.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, the low budget films I've worked on of other people's, uh, there was like this one crew of people who would all come together to work on my friend's films, and he died a couple of years ago. He died quite young, and all those people still work on films, but none of us work together anymore. And like, I don't think we obviously wouldn't realize it, but everyone
Yeah.
was there in that one place, and for a few years we all worked together on these films all the time. And he was the thing that was bringing everybody together, but nobody really clocked it. And now we still speak and stuff, but we don't see each other
Yeah.
in the same way like we were when we were making stuff. I think it's good to have that linchpin to bring people
See,
together.
it's funny with my movies, a few of the actors came up to me and they said, wow, we just want to say that usually when you go to these kind of film sets, you got everybody in the corner, you got your little cliques and everything. He said, you guys, he says, you're all joking around, you're all the newbies, you go and talk to them, make them feel involved, and you
Yeah,
involve everybody. And there's never like, oh, just leave that person in the corner. Look, come over here, we're talking,
yeah,
we
yeah,
want to involve everybody. And we try to make it like a really fun experience. Like I said, we can't get rid of them at the end.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
okay, you can go home. But
yeah,
they just and they really look forward to it. They're like telling me a couple of days before, oh, I can't wait, we're gonna hang out,
yeah.
we'll
That's
have a
cool.
fun time. Because even like our movies are dark.
Yeah,
They're, when we go into that acting, it's killing, it's
hmm,
possession, it's not good things happening. It's not a happy movie. But when we call cut, we're like, oh, so what are we gonna do for lunch?
yeah,
Oh, they show me pictures of things, and
yeah,
we're having a good time. Oh, look, I got a picture of you falling down, hitting your head. Oh,
yeah,
thank you. Well, let's post that.
yeah,
But we're all very, very, very close. And when we call cut, there's we talk to each other like if not every day, every week. We just
yeah,
always like, how's everything going? We always keep in the loop of everything. Because
yeah.
the thing is that once one movie's done, there's another one right behind. We're always going. There's
Hmm.
always something. We're preparing for something.
Yeah,
So it is never that lax. Like the last 3 years, it's been a long stretch. It's been like one
Just
movie
constant.
after another. If
Yeah.
we're not filming, we're in post. If we're not in post,
Yeah.
we're in pre-production. Or campaigning, and the campaigning is a nightmare,
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
not good. It's not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So
But
how
we
do
get
you?
through.
What's the biggest break that you've taken away from making a film? Do you think?
The biggest.
Like time span. Like if you ever,
Oh,
in years or months or whatever.
try. I think it was a year or two.
Yeah.
It was an anthology, and I had a setback. I said, I don't like the way our movies are going. I said,
Mm.
I want to improve. I want to broaden them. So I stepped back. I got a distributor. It was Sleazebox. They put out all my old movies. So I was riding on that for a little while. Did very well with that. Chris Woods and Sean Donahue ran that. They
Yeah.
no longer. But they were getting my old movies out there, and I was like regrouping.
Mm.
So then I came back with Doomsday Stories. That was the one, which was loosely based on the character in Hell on Earth. How did he become that crazy
Right.
guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was an anthology. And then I got into that grind of
Mm.
anthology. We did Doomsdays. We did I Slay on Christmas. We did Unearthed. We did Actor's Curse. And now we're finishing up Amityville.
Yeah.
And I started getting labeled the king of anthologies. And I was
Okay.
like, so I threw Jacker in there, as a feature, and now I'm throwing Survive the End. And I said I'm swearing off anthologies for a long time. I
Yeah.
said anthologies. It sounds good on paper, but they take a long time.
Is it all? Are they all directed by the same team?
Yeah, it's
Okay,
four
that's
stories,
that's
four
good.
different directors.
Okay, but they're all
What I
people within
do
your
is,
circle.
yes, they're all in my circle. What I do to have some kind of togetherness on the idea, I write a broad concept. I tell them, look, like the Amityville, I said, this is what it's about. And I put down this an idea of what the four stories, like one, two, three, four. I let them pick. It's
Mm.
funny because they always pick one. Because when I write them in mind. So they always pick the one that I want
Okay.
them to
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
And I don't write the stories. They write the stories. I just gave them a very, very vague
Mm.
idea, and then they go with it. And that's how it goes. So this way you could have some kind of order.
Yeah.
It's good. Because I remember in Doomsday Stories, the stories were all over the place.
Right.
One of them didn't even have to do with Doomsday.
Yeah.
So this way we can control it. And the key is to having a good host. Like on Earth,
Oh,
we have
so
Chris
the
Taylor.
wraparound is
Yeah, to
a
wrap
host.
around. Yeah, so
Okay.
we've been lucky. We had Chris Kaler in Unearthed. We had Joe DiBartolo in Actor's Curse. And we got Tiffany Sinclair for Amityville Descendants. We try to get people in the hosts
Mm.
that are good actors.
Yeah.
They're really good. And we had Joel in the Horror Tales.
Right.
He did
Yeah.
Horror Tales 2 and 3. And
Yeah.
I did Doomsday and I Slay on Christmas. I
Okay.
stepped
Cool.
down because I said I'm getting sick of seeing my face up there. I want
Yeah.
to see.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, you don't want to keep seeing my face up there.
Yeah.
So, but when Chris came in, that's when we really started regrouping. We cleaned shop. We said, look, this is how we want things done. And Unearthed took everybody by surprise because
Mm.
it was like one of our biggest anthologies. People were like blown away. They were like, these stories are great. The wraparounds are great. And then we said, that's the way we got to go now. We got to
Yeah.
go with a different host each time and get the stories, like pretty much the same idea.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's nice when you can collect things within a theme and have something be cohesive and come out in that way. But then,
Exactly.
that's the second time you've said now in like the half hour or whatever we've been talking, where it seems like once you get labeled something or pigeonholed something, then you pivot out of it and go, okay, I'm going to go over here and do this now.
Yeah.
So that's important, I guess, to stay creative, isn't it? And to stay
Yeah.
excited.
You can't do the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Even if it works.
Yeah.
Even if it works, you got to like do different ideas.
And challenge
I
yourself.
swore I would never do an Amityville movie, right? But
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? There's 50 of them.
Yeah.
And I said, some of them are good.
Yeah.
Some of them are good. But I said, not saying ours is going to be the best or anything because I got in trouble already about that.
Right.
We're just going back to the tradition
That's cool.
of the Amityville series.
That's cool.
Let everybody do what they want.
Yeah.
We wanted to make something that it felt like it was in the tradition of the first two, which are my favorite.
Yeah.
With Amityville, Marcelo Fabani made, because the house doesn't exist the way it looks anymore.
Yeah.
Because I live maybe 20 minutes away from it.
Okay.
So Marcelo took months. He reconstructed a whole house. I put
Oh,
it
amazing.
online,
Yeah.
and he got the blueprints, and he did it, and we have it in the movie. We
Yeah.
put it in there, and it looks great.
Mm.
So we wanted that. We didn't want like some fake house, that
Yeah.
looks like, it.
Yeah.
And my friend Dino, can't think of his name. He's going to kill me. He did all the establishing shots
Right.
actually in Amityville.
Okay,
So we
cool.
have that feel,
Yeah.
where you got the town, we open up the movie with that. So it feels like Amityville,
Yeah.
and we filmed near Amityville, our short, some of it. And it just gives that feeling. And I can say that it's a real Amityville
Yeah.
movie.
So there's a slower pace to those to
Right. It's
films at
more
that
back to
time.
horror.
Yeah, I mean, 70s, maybe early 80s. The pacing was so much more deliberate and it was
Yeah.
slow. It was the building of slow dread, wasn't it? Creeping in rather than the jump scares and everything.
And that's the vibe we
Mm.
have in it. And it was funny. I kicked myself now because I tell my actors and everything. I said I didn't know because I wrote the story that we shot with James, with Ralph, Ray, Deanna Marie, Kevin Duffy, Jimmy Wald, and Sean Ray. I'm trying to remember everybody that was in it. And also Vernon Wells from Road Warrior. He had a cameo in that. So we wanted that feel of the 70s, 80s, type. And after we shot everything, I was like, we should have made this a feature. I said,
Yeah,
we really, really nailed it.
yeah.
Oh, and Debbie D's in that one.
Okay,
She
cool.
plays my wife. How can I forget? But we nailed it. The effects and camera work from James Panetta
Yeah,
really made a really, really creepy story that people are going to love. I
yeah,
know they're
yeah,
going to love it. And we really, what I promised is what we put into it.
yeah, yeah. So what about uh, other filmmakers that you enjoy now, or other films that you really love, or have influenced you?
Uh,
You go back to the
Friend of
old
mine, Will
stuff, or you watch
Colazzo,
the new stuff?
has got a lot of movies out, and I really like that, how he pumps them
Mm,
out. New filmmaker on the scene, and he took one of my scripts, A Soldier's Descent, Andrew Pearson and his wife Carissa. Uh, she directed it. They took this script, and I would have made it like a low budget. They turned it into a Hollywood feature with a lot of messages
yeah,
about post-traumatic stress disorder
right.
and everything. It's like a Rambo script, but they gave the main character depth and
Yeah,
feelings towards it. So he really impressed me with what he turned it out. And he was like, oh, I like that script you wrote. Good. Let's see what you can do. And he says, you're going to be really proud of what I did. And I'm very proud of what
yeah,
he
cool.
did. But there's just so many filmmakers now, like Michael Masausos. He's a friend of mine. He's another one that puts so much passion into filmmaking.
Yeah,
Sean Donahue,
yeah,
he does a lot of stuff down in Florida. Jason Buterin, Will Devakis. These are all filmmakers that they've yet to like really hit their potential,
yeah,
and they're brilliant. They're
yeah,
brilliant filmmakers. Derek Brosh is another one. He's out in Chicago. This guy just he could do anything. I make fun of him because I say you're like Spielberg with the because when he does a lot of filming for me. When he gives me the credits, even if it's a 10-minute short, it's got like 100 credits. He got the
right.
light man, he's got the script guy, he's got the
Yeah,
caterer, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
yeah,
And he yells at me all the time. You spelled the name wrong. I said, well, you gave me 100 names. I said, but
yeah,
he a brilliant, very, very a filmmaker that pays attention to detail,
yeah,
and he impresses me. But right now, like I said, there's so many people popping up,
yeah,
and I wish them well. I hope they continue on this path. But like I said, there's a lot also that are doing bad things. You know,
Yeah.
they're taking money and run.
Yeah.
They're saying they're making movies. They're not making movies. It looks bad for us because
Yeah.
I go to our supporters and they say, well, I gave to this guy and he never made the movie. So I'm out a couple of
Yeah.
$1,000, you know, and then, like I said, it's a good time for us now to be like at our level, but it's also a bad time
Yeah.
because you got like these really, really micro scales that are filming on their phone and coming out with a movie a week
Yeah.
and they're grabbing all the young kids, you know.
Yeah.
Then you got the Hollywood guys
Yeah.
that look down at us and they don't want to give us a chance
Yeah.
because we're making the same movies as them, but we're amateurs, you know,
Yeah.
so they won't give us a shot, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then things are becoming harder and harder. Like Film Hub, they're charging now to put the
Right.
movies through streaming, which was
Yeah.
like our main thing through streaming. So it's forcing you now to get a distributor. Distributors are good, but when you're at this level, there's no money
Yeah.
because they got to get their money back. How much money are these movies making? So
Yeah.
by the time they get their money back, that's it. It's
Yeah.
done.
You haven't got anything from your half or whatever it is
So it's
once they
better to do it
recoup.
yourself unless you got a really big movie that's
Yeah.
going to really bring in more money.
Yeah.
But that's my take on distribution on
Yeah.
people with low end. Do it yourself.
Yeah.
I got a guy, he's a great copier. He does the covers, he does everything, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I order hundreds and hundreds of copies, never have a problems with any of them. Fast service. There's no minimum. You could buy one
That's
copy,
cool. Yeah.
10 copies. He's a great guy to have. And I tell people, go with, you're an indie, go with indies.
Yeah.
Don't go with these big companies that minimum 100,
Yeah.
copies. They overcharge you. There's problems. This guy, he does it out of his basement and he's great.
Yeah.
And you make your own covers. You learn how to do your own covers.
Yeah.
You learn how to
Definitely.
do the menus, at the beginning because they charge everything with that. They
Yeah.
charge for
The
covers. They
authoring.
charge
Yeah.
for menus.
Yeah.
You know, you got to learn to do it yourself.
Mm.
This way you save money. You don't have to pay for it.
Yeah.
Network with people.
Yeah.
You do this for me, I do this for you.
I used
Because
to,
people throw money around and then they say, "Oh, I'm 10,000 in the hole." Well, you gotta
yeah.
you gotta face realistically.
Yeah. Yeah.
How you do these
Are you
things.
always budgeting your stuff? Anything you make, you're writing it with a budget in mind, presumably
Yeah,
to,
well,
to
no.
or okay, you're writing big first and then
We're
paring
writing
it back.
big and we just go
Okay.
bigger and then we say,
Okay.
let's see how much we get. And then, okay, what we get from the last movie, we'll put towards
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
And that's how it works. And then,
Yeah.
like I said, it goes back into network. Say, look, what can you do for us?
Yeah. Yeah.
Say, look, we'll get our movie out.
Yeah.
We'll help you out. We'll do what we can. We pay you as much as we can. But it's better than some people that say, "Oh yeah, I'll pay you next week," and they never pay you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We have a thing now. We used to pay in advance. We can't do that anymore because of the way things are. People
Yeah.
don't show up, and then that's it. So we guarantee they'll get paid that day.
Yeah.
When they come in before they even start acting, you get paid right away.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you don't, leave.
Yeah.
Don't trust us.
Yeah.
But we're paying you. We never and Google me. You never have any problems
Yeah.
about me.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
have any problems with people. I'll tell them straight out. Sometimes people attack me, and I'm like, "Why are you attacking me? I never did." Oh, well, because you work with this one. It's not me though. It's this. I try to be fair, and if I see things aren't going good with a person, I get rid of them. If
Yeah.
I see a person hurt somebody on my team, they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care how good you are or what you've done. It's you're not worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a small group, and everybody's out there to help each other, not hurt each other.
Yeah.
And there's so many people out there that just want to hurt you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Jealousy. I was talking to another filmmaker.
Yeah.
Jealousy. That's it.
Yeah.
It's jealousy, and I'm always helping people, even if I'm not involved in their movie. I'll share things, I'll share their campaign, I'll give towards their campaign.
Mm.
Not a lot, but I do what I can for them.
Yeah.
Can you do this for me? Yeah, no problem. Can you write this up for me? Yeah, I'll help you. I even help people set up their campaigns.
Yeah.
Just because I never wrote a campaign. Can you help me? Yeah. They go, oh, when can you have? A couple days. Really? Yeah. I like to help people with what I've learned, what people
Yeah.
help me with. Like when
Yeah.
I ask them, they help me. So then let me help you now.
Yeah. That's what I appreciate about your stuff online and the things that I've seen you write. And part of the reason I wanted to speak to you, actually, apart from being a fan of your films, it was seeing how positive the stuff you put out is. When you write posts about things and about filmmaking in general, they're usually super positive, inspirational to read, and about good things like perseverance and being a decent human being, and
Yeah,
riding
because
the
it's so
tide of
much
filmmaking.
negativity. I
Yeah,
try to keep positive, keep
yeah,
everybody get their minds off of that, and just filmmaking is an escape.
yeah,
So you should not bring in the outside world into that. It's a fake world we live in, filmmaking. We think we're a lot better than we all are. We're trying to be the best, but
yeah,
and it's just good where you can go in and talk to people about not what's going on here and there. Let's just talk about what are you doing? What kind of movie are
yeah,
you making? Do you need any
yeah,
help? Just that. I don't care about what's going on. I
yeah,
mean, I should say I don't care, but it's not the place.
yeah,
Talk about it with your neighbor, talk about it with your family. Don't bring your feelings into something negativity when we're trying to do something positive.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
making movies here.
yeah, yeah,
It's an escape.
yeah. And I feel
And
like
I try to tell people you're not alone in what you feel, but let's
yeah.
it's not hard.
Do you feel like it's helped you cope? Like it's helped? I know it's helped me so many times cope with life, or feeling overwhelmed by things, or a lot of things going on in my life, giving
Right.
me something to zero in on. That I'm like, okay, I just got to do these things. I got these steps to do, and it's
Exactly.
there's not many things you can control in your life, I don't think, and you can't control filmmaking. Like the whole thing of
No.
directing is, what do you do when things don't work? Basically, isn't it? It's just make plans and then they don't work. But
Right.
it's nice to be able to try and control some part of reality in that way and form something.
Well, like you said, my posts and everything, I would say majority of the posts are people that reached out to me. They're like telling me their problems and this and that. And I don't like to go out, well, Joe Schmo had this. And
Yeah.
so I incorporate it into something that can be relatable to you,
Mm.
to me, and that make feel people say, wow, I'm going through that too. So they
Yeah.
can relate to it. And I try to make it broad. I don't try to make it an
Yeah.
individual attack. I try to make it something comfortable that people read, and if they are going, because for some reason, filmmakers have a lot of bouts with depression
Yeah.
and suicidal. It's a sad thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know what the connection is, but people get real. And I said, don't. I said, you got this great outlet. Talk to people.
Mm.
Write it down. I always tell people when they're feeling all depressed and everything, go sit down and go write a story about it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
said, you get it all out. And you
Yeah.
go, and then when usually the next day or something, when you look at it, you go, what was that? It wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
I can overcome that or anything. But like I said, though, all those things that I write, people come up to me, like, is everything okay? I
Right.
get like
Okay.
mails that, are you okay? Is everything okay? I'm like, yeah, what? Well, that post you wrote, oh my God. And I'm like, no, it's not about me. I said,
Mm.
it's about you. It's about
Yeah.
him. It's about, I, I, I never thought of myself as a therapist or anything,
Mm.
but I feel like not a gift, but I feel like people like my writings.
Yeah.
So why not put it out there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why keep it to myself? Why get
Yeah.
angry? Sometimes when I write it, I get my anger out
Yeah. Yeah. You can just rant and then
because
yeah.
the people that I'm writing about, sometimes they're like, "Ooh, is that talking about me?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, it is.
So what would you do if you got given a budget bigger than anything you've had before? What would you make? You'd still keep your crew pretty much the same. You'd still keep it small. You work
That,
with people
it's
you
funny.
know.
We're always talking
But
about
what would
that.
you
Like,
make?
let's say we got like $20 million or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
We
yeah,
say, oh my God, we'll make like 40 movies. And I say, well, what happens if we can make that one movie? They'll say, we got to make something epic. That's why Invasion of the Horseshoe Crabs. I would like to make that like an epic 50s, end
yeah,
of the world, atomic, movie. And I mean, I think we could pull it off. But if I had like a budget like 10 or $20 million,
mm,
how cool would that be?
yeah,
And
yeah,
creatures like Godzilla and stuff. So
yeah,
that would be kind of cool to do.
yeah,
It's like it's it's sad because I really don't have an answer for that because my mindset has always been it's not going to happen.
yeah,
Let's stick to what we're
yeah,
doing.
yeah,
There's a lot of filmmakers. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I want to do this. I got a script. I'm trying to get the money, and they never make
it's
anything.
the difference between people who make things and finish them and people who don't. Literally, that the amount of filmmakers that I've met who have told me there's a fucking really elaborate, crazy story. And like, I just need 5 million to make it. I'm like, dude, like we're in the fucking valleys in Wales. No one's going to give us
Yeah.
money to make a film. You just need
And
to
they
write
never made a
something
movie.
for
They
five
never
hundred
made any.
pound and then go and fucking
Yeah.
shoot it. You know what I mean? Make something for £1,000 because you'll have a
Yeah.
film then at least.
Right. Well, my partner James, he's always telling me $500 we can make a feature. He
Yeah,
says these kids nowadays, their $500 is just on lunch that day.
yeah.
He says if you use your head, you can make a feature.
What would you
For
say?
very low. I mean, 500 is pushing it, but you can make a
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
But whatever you want to. You just
yeah,
how elaborate do you want to get? You can make two guys in a room. I always said if you make a movie with two guys in a room for 90 minutes and you make it interesting, good for
yeah,
you. And I've seen a few movies like that, where they're in a cab or something, or like open water when
yeah,
they were trapped in the war, they
yeah,
made it work. And I find those movies more rewarding than a movie with an ensemble cast because
yeah,
they made two characters hold your interest for 90 minutes.
yeah, yeah,
So how good writing is that?
yeah. Yeah, you can appreciate it. The reason I pulled 500 out is because I made a found footage Bigfoot film for £500. It was my first feature. I acted it
Yeah.
myself. My girlfriend made the Bigfoot costume. She played Bigfoot. I was the guy looking for him.
Probably the
Shot it in the
funnest time
woods.
you ever
It was
had.
great, absolutely great. It's like, um, but yeah, I think like trying to make stuff low budget work at that level is a skill set in itself, isn't it? Like, what would you say are the main things that you need to keep in mind when you're writing something low budget for it to come out and be distributed, or boobs,
The
blood, and
best
beast, like you
thing,
said before?
three things. Well, the script, that's
Yeah,
one thing. The script, a good camera, uh, a light. I always tell people it doesn't have to be an elaborate light, a light,
yeah,
and a good microphone.
yeah, yeah,
That's all you need. And you don't need the cinematographer. If you got a good cameraman, he does everything. He'll
yeah,
direct, film, and everything. You keep it simple. You don't need a boom guy. You don't need this and
yeah,
that. Then it's money, all money, money, money.
yeah,
If you want to make something simple, that's a light, mic, and camera. That's it. You got the script already. And when you're writing the script, write it realistically. Don't
yeah,
have car explosions and don't involve different sets. Use what you have. Use your house. Use it if
yeah,
someone has if you know someone, you get an office building or a bar or something,
mm,
where you buy a couple of drinks and that covers it. Don't promise people, oh, could I rent your place? I'll give you $1,000. You
yeah,
don't want that $1,000.
yeah,
Say,
yeah,
look, you're going to be in a movie. I'll put you in the credits. Your place will be shown. You know, that's it.
yeah, yeah,
That's more publicity. How much does it cost in a local newspaper to put an ad for your place? What you're doing for me is a fraction of that. You're not
yeah,
losing business. You could still have business. We'll put the people in as extras.
yeah.
So keep it simple. When I was in film school, that's what they told me. KISS. Keep it simple,
Right,
stupid.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Don't freaking get too crazy, especially if it's your first movie. Don't go out there. Well, I need $500,000 just to make the concept video of a
yeah,
10-minute short. I'm like, I can't get that much for a feature. I
yeah,
said,
yeah,
how are you guys doing this?
yeah,
And they don't get it. They get $800 and then they disappear and then that's it. You never hear from them again.
yeah, yeah,
They tell me, how do you get? I said, I'm not getting $500,000. I said, you guys got to go little. I said, and you're
mm,
charging $10,000 for a producer credit. You're not getting anything for it.
yeah,
You got to keep it cheap. Keep it as cheap as possible so people can be part of it and not break the bank.
yeah, yeah,
You make your perks cheap and you'll get more money like that. People say, oh, your perks are too cheap. I was like, because I want the little guy to be involved. Is that
yeah,
so bad?
yeah, yeah,
And I'm always doing things on the side for like a little Miss Old Lady. Like, oh, I always wanted to be a producer in your movie. Can you? Yeah, I'll send you a secret perk. Don't worry about
okay,
it.
cool, yeah,
I like having, this goodness. Not, oh no, when you get enough money, come back. And I know
yeah,
people
yeah,
that would tell people that.
yeah, yeah. It feels like a small community activity almost, like especially the
Yeah,
real low budget stuff when you're working with the same people and everything. You're building this little community, and then now you can share it online and people can come and be part of it, which is really cool. But at the end of the day, you're trying to look after everybody in that little community, aren't you? So you keep
yeah,
going forward, you keep getting to make stuff. um Well, thanks for taking the time to speak to me. I appreciate it, man. That was fun.
Oh,
That was
I
really great.
appreciate this. Very,
Um,
very thankful.
so before we go, tell people what you've got coming up, where they can find you, how they can support your filmmaking.
Well, you just go on Facebook, you Google my name, Phil Herman. We got the group pages. The three movies that are coming out are Actors Curse, uh, Amityville Descendants of Darkness, and we're doing Survive the End. That's going to be the one that Amityville and Actors Curse will be out within the next month or so. Uh, there's possibilities that Amityville will get a drive-in run because there's
Oh,
been
that's
a lot
cool.
of interest in it. Not 100%, but there's a good chance that'll be in the spring if we could get it out by then. And hopefully survive the end. We're going to be filming the next 3 months. We're starting in March, finishing in April, May. Then my editor, he'll get stuck with that. It'll probably take about 6 months to edit.
Yeah.
So thinking late 2026, early 2027 on that. That one's going to be a big one. So, and then we're going to probably have discussions on the Usher,
Okay, cool.
but you could always find me on Facebook, Phil Herman, and everything. I'm always posting everything, what's going on. And I also got a page support independent cinema.
Okay, cool.
So that'll
That's
be
awesome.
all my connections there.
Sweet. Well, thanks, Val. I appreciate you taking the time, man.
You're very welcome.
Thank you, mate.